And we're being joined now by the National President of SSANU, Mr. Mohammed Ibrahim, who is with us to shed more light on this development. Hello and welcome to Newstrack, Mr. Mohammed Ibrahim. Your statement said that the strike initially billed for 23rd was rescheduled because of the Trade Group Council meeting on the said date. Were there efforts prior to this time to engage with the government to try to see if it could be resolved before this ultimate decision that has been taken? And if there were, please fill us in on what the results or lack of the results were.
Good morning, Bukola, and thanks for having me. Even before the extension we made on the 23rd, there were several extensions we had given. Recall that this is not a new issue. In July, precisely on the 17th, we had a national protest in Abuja. And thereafter, NLC took over the matter and mentioned before the president when they discussed the national minimum wage. It was at that meeting that the president gave a directive that 50% of the 4 months be paid, which is 2 months. And thereafter, we also got to have the approval of Mr. President. And 3 months down the line, this thing has remained elusive. We have had several discussions with the federal ministers of education, the senior minister and the junior minister, and assurances were made, have been given to our members, but the thing remained elusive. So for now, we have been pushed to the wall, and we have exhausted all avenues, including but not limited to asking our members to be patient. So strikes have already commenced. Our members have met in different branches, and going forward, all services in the bursary department, in registry, in works and maintenance, security, students' affairs have been put to a halt until when payments are made.
And since your notification for commencement of strike, have overtures been made to you by government officials to see if this could be prevented or elongated, as the case may be?
Yeah, several overtures were made by the previous Minister of Education. And even this morning, I received a call from the Minister Designate of Education through the former Minister of State, making effort that we meet. But the strike is a process. And the leadership of the unions, NASU and SSANU, will have to meet. As at now, none of us is in Abuja, and we are trying to see how we could meet. But the bottom line is, if these payments are made today, and that can be possible because it's just electronic payment, every other arrangements have been made. Once these payments are made, we don't even have to meet. We will call off we will suspend the strike.
All right, sir. Lastly, your sister union, ASU, was paid 4 months withheld salaries that were described as staggered payments some months back. Could you give us an insight as to whether this is the equivalent of it for NASU and SSANU, and why it was not paid if that were the case? And perhaps you could also highlight other issues that NASU and SSANU is advocating for.
Well, I will not be able to speak on behalf of ASU, but because we are all colleagues and we work in the same environment, we are aware that they were paid 50% of what they deserve to get, which was supposed to be 7.5 months or 8 months, but they were paid 4 months. And since the approval of Mr. President is to do it with 50% of whatever they are owing us, meaning since we have 4 months, we are to be paid 2 months. And what baffles us actually was that why the segregation? Why would they pay one group of staff or union and then leave 3 other unions, without being paid? So we have raised our voices. We have made all the necessary contacts. We have done all the needful, but this has not been done. So it's quite frustrating. Our members recall that also the economy is so harsh. Our members are really going through a lot. Even to commute to go to work is an issue because most of the universities, are sited way outside the townships and cities. that we have. So commuting in itself is Herculean for us because with the price of petrol, and other logistics is so high. And beyond the issue of the withheld salaries, we also had signed in 2022 a memorandum of understanding with the then Minister of Education, Mala Adamu, concerning about the 50 billion naira and allowances that was approved and captured in the 2023 budget, but yet to see the light of the day. And other issues surrounding, the renegotiation of the 2009 agreement and also to do with the stabilization funds that should be given to the universities. And also when we protested on the so much proliferation of universities, and meanwhile the ones on ground are not being catered for. You may be aware that so many universities operate today without electricity because they cannot afford to pay the bills. No university today, public university, is happy with the situation. And our students are really suffering. You can just imagine going to a university, staying there without electricity. So these are things that we have brought to the front burner of government. And we expect that the president, having given approval for this payment, nobody should sit on it. And we have had to raise our voice the other time to say that we sent some saboteurs.
And we hope that this is resolved on time. We must wrap up this discussion now. Thank you so much for your time on the program. We've been speaking with the National President of SSANU, Mr. Mohammed Ibrahim. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.